Hi everybody. Hopefully you can see me. See if you can see me. Waiting for everybody. Back to meeting. Share screen. Angelology. Share screen. There. You should be able to see me now. Everybody's here. Yes, Stacey can see me. Deborah can see me. Hi everybody. Dee's getting in. All right. Tiz was proper. Tiz. Hi all. On now. Because people are getting their emails, but they're not downloading them. Not everybody's downloading them. So nothing much I can do about that. Not really. So I'm going to carry on. If they're late, they're late. That's because they don't know how to do it. So they'll get the hang of it and they can get a record of it later. So we're doing angelology. And what is angelology? I'll turn my phone down. Don't need that one. Here we go. So we're going to be studying angels. Angelology. Wow. Angels are amazing. The study of angels. There are many unbiblical views of angels today. Some people believe that angels actually didn't exist and others do. And some believe they're even human beings who have died. Others believe that angels are impersonal sources of power, and still others deny the existence of them in their entirety. Angels are entirely different order of being from humans. Human beings do not become angels until they die. After they die. So like some aren't, and they're classed as regular angels, and then you get the archangels. Angels will never become and never were human beings. God created the angels just as he created humanity. Now this is from a biblical sense, because the Bible does not necessarily support the gender of angels being male or female. Whenever gender is assigned to an angel in scripture, it is male, and even Gabriel is also male according to scriptures. The only other names assigned to angels are Michael and Gabriel, generally considered masculine as well, which is quite unbelievable. But it's not really how I see angels, but I'm doing angelology, and we will be looking at the history and where we've got to the ideology of them today. So there you go. The concept of angels grew slowly and gained impetus as the main religious route and spread across the world centuries and centuries ago. Animism, original beliefs. Anybody know what that means? What I will do is find where my chat is. Where's that gone? Ah, there you are. There's my chat. So I'm in. Everything has a soul. Yeah, absolutely. Does anyone know what animism means? So everything has a soul, even mountains. Other entities in nature contain an inner spiritual essence. That's what they're saying. So everything has soul. So correct there, Susan. Animism has many forms which reflect the geographical environment, the religious or spiritual cultural studies, and the distinct worldview of the people groups who practice its various expressions. It is found in expressions of shamanism and neo-paganism, as well as other spiritualities. So it is going to be a massive topic. The history, we'll be looking at how we got there today, and then what we'll be doing is looking at all the different angels in time. This bit, part one, is a bit boring. But I'm going to try and make it as much fun as possible, and as we develop through it, I will be teaching you how to do the angel cards, how to call upon angels, and all sorts of different things. It's going to get really exciting as it goes on, so you have to bear with me while we do the history. So angels are then traditionally believed to be supernatural beings who act as mediators between man and God, or higher power, whatever you like to call it, because dependent on what your religion is, can be classed as higher power. The origins of the angels in history is quite complicated to figure out, for sure, due to angels or similar spirits beings being found within so many different cultures around the globe. So that's why I say dependent on what culture and your belief system, really. Angels are found within 3 key religions, and that's Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Yet angels or divine helpers were also found within Sumerian and Babylonian and Persian, Egyptian, and Greek writings as well, and played a major influence upon the ideas regarding angels within the key religions themselves. So, for example, it's well known that ancient Sumerian texts predated the Hebrew book of Genesis, including the idea of the existence of angels. The Hebrew beliefs regarding angels were similarly shared with Christianity, and both Judaism, I'll say it in a minute, and Christianity's teachings of angels inspired the Islam beliefs concerning angels. So it's quite in depth, and it is dependent on what actually you believe. So who have we got in at the moment? Have we got everybody in? We've got Stacey, Deborah, Kelly Irwin, Wendy Heffernan, Janet Bryan, Mandy, I saw her raise her hand then. I'm so glad you are in, cheeky little monkey. Janet Bryan, Susan. There's a couple of people not here. Amy Dora's in, Nancy's in, fabulous. Joey. There's another lady that's not in then. What happens is it's really difficult when people don't send, like, they'll send their nickname and they don't send their real name, and then admin is like, so what's that name? And then you have to do quite a lot of research. So, but anyway, that's for us to sort out. So that has been sent to that person. So hoping that they're in. If not, they will get a recording of this later. So there we go. We're doing history again. So through maybe called different names, bad spirits being quite similar to angels can also be found within other religions, mythologies and lore, Hinduism and avatars. Buddhism has devas. The Greeks wrote about demons and other spirit beings similar to angels, such as guardian spirits and spirit guides. So when considering angels, we do have to look at the fallen angel, Satan. They've been taught by tribal cultures. All of these have similar functions as helpful spirit messengers or angels. So today many people believe in demons and they are fallen angels. The teachings originate in the Hebrew text of Ange about Lucifer being cast out of heaven with 1/3 of the angels. So anybody heard of that sort of stuff? Believe in it? It's really interesting to hear what you think considering that. So like angels of darkness, angels of light. So angels of light would be white feather ones. Angels of darkness, of course, we look upon Lucifer, known as Satan. But anybody, I believe there are bad spirits. That's Susan. Okay. That is church teaching. Yes, indeed. I have heard. Yeah, what I'm doing, Mandy, is I'm looking at the history. I'm going to be looking at angelology. It actually, this is not a doctrine. It's looking at the study of angels from my perspective, but looking at the history over time, and then teaching you about how I see angels eventually, how we've got to modern day new age angels, and then what we'll be looking at in the future is how you do angel cards and stuff like that, and how you do therapy and healing with angels as well, so that you can go out and practice as an angel healer and help people in your community. So I believe in good and bad. So many other religions had similar beliefs before Christianity even came into being. Yep, absolutely. Neither do I. I'm a spiritualist, but believe good overcomes bad. Wendy. Okay, that's an interesting concept. For me, I believe that, oh, it's a difficult one. If we're talking about beliefs, there is a dark force. There's no doubt about that. And there's a light force. And for me, that's energy and angels. Yes, I believe in angels, and I do believe that there was a fallen angel. And I do think that that fallen angel is most probably working in the lowest vibration, but I class that as not to be hell. I class that more likely to be earth. I mean, I'm a confirmed Christian. I was confirmed Christian in my 20s. And there was elements of it that I didn't believe, but the majority of it I did believe. But I believe that church for me is everywhere. But everybody's got their own belief systems. But I do believe in God, and I do believe in a creator. But I don't believe it's the one that's been taught. I believe for myself, I mean, everyone's belief systems are different, is that everything's one. So I believe in that. But it's just man ruins it. Man ruins religion. I think it's about respecting all of them. But yes, I agree with, and I believe in God and angels, and we are one. That's how I see it. I believe in Jesus and the Creator, but I also believe that the Bible is not entirely accurate. Yes, I agree with you, Rachel. Yeah, it's just because it's like almost like it's been fiddled with to suit man. I believe in God, but most of these stories are written by man. Yeah, that's it. It's because of man. But the scriptures will also have a lot of prophecy in them, so some will be. But what happens is one religion will get hold of it, they change it to suit their culture. Then you get somebody else has it, changes it to suit their culture, and etc. I prefer it all under one umbrella. I believe in God, I believe in angels, and I believe in Jesus. I believe he walked earth, and I believe that he was the resurrection, and I do believe in life, life after death because of that as well. But what I don't believe in is that all of this war and stuff would be happening, and this merciful God wouldn't want all of this arguing and debating over religion. Everybody would be just getting on as one. So I believe so more in the light and angels. So yes, the Shroud of Turin proves his resurrection. Yep, and I watched that documentary because I don't watch TV. And I watched it a long time ago, but I love documentaries like that, and that was fantastic. Someone says that I believe in the Ten Commandments as a starting foundation instead of chaos. I believe in the Old Testament as the New Testament is man written. Interesting, yes. The Old Testament, yeah. I would be more inclined to think there was some truth in that. But then if you look at Quran and you look at all the others, I've studied everything. I'm one of these people who just absorb information like a sponge. And I've looked into Jehovah's Witness, I've looked into Mormons, all sorts of religions and theology. And every single one is nice, but every single one has an element of that isn't so nice when it comes to man, and it's always to do with greed and money because of man. I don't believe any of these scriptures were written badly. They were manipulated in order to almost have a tyranny over human beings to stop chaos, but also to create chaos in the same breath. That is my perception on it. And it's interesting to listen to yours. I have you on my car speakers. The problem I have, so many other older ancient religions talk about a great flood. I do believe in Mormons, Janet says. Noah. The great flood. It's very interesting. There were 15 commandments and dropped some. Me to Rachel, I want to all because all my dreams, visions, etc. Yeah. It's interesting. It's such a debatable topic because I don't know. I just think all this, and especially with all the stuff that's happening in the world with all these people, and like you have the 9/11 and stuff like that as well. That was all created through religion, and it's gone crazy. And I just think there's too much hate in the world. Church has caused a lot of pain, stuff. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's caused too much. It's almost become non-existent, really. I mean, look at the churches of England. They're not full. They're not full to the brim. A lot of them are just standing there now. Doors aren't open anymore. People don't even really go into them and congregate. There's lots of people that are living in a class system. So you're talking about higher class systems. And then, of course, you've got Muslims. They're all fighting over each other, and then of course the Christians would have been Crusaders and the Templars. So I'm not sure. I just don't think that our Creator would have panned it out the way it has been. I just don't think that that's the way He wanted it. I believe that man's manipulated it to benefit themselves. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about angels. So here we go. The hierarchy of them. So fantastic. Could be here hours. That's in the Bible, though. And Nostradamus wrote about so many things that are happening. It's not the church that make the people. It's the people that make the church. Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. And these churches are absolutely gorgeous. And I actually love history. And I love, I was brought up with a great-grandparent, my great-granddad Charles, and he used to take me to church every Sunday. I used to have to get my Sunday best on, go to church, and it was pretty. I remember looking at the windows thinking, oh my gosh, it's lovely, I love being here. Then reality kicks in, and then you start looking around and you start questioning things as you grow older, noticing people's patterns, behaviors, and some, those people just go in there, have their wine, oh, let's all get forgiven, and then that's it, and then we can fall back into our little cozy home, forget about poverty out there, and then carry on our days. Give money to the harvest, go out and give some fruit to those that are in need in the neighborhood, and then we'll just carry on living our lives. And I just found, I don't know, some elements of it I just found quite hypocritical. That is just my opinion. That's my opinion. But there are nice people in all religions, and that's why I cannot pinpoint it, because I could say, right, I've got a handful of Muslims here, wonderful people, we put them there, handful of Judaism or Hinduism or whatever, and get a handful of everybody be good, and then you could get another handful of people that aren't so nice, and that's where it gets difficult. I'm just going to shut the door, sorry. Because there's good and bad in everything, isn't there? So yes, there would be good and there would be bad, I sense, in relation to angels. It's not the church that make the people, it's the people that make the church. Good and bad in every religion. Read that one. Don't believe in church, but believe there's a higher power. Not the church that make the people. Right, read that one. Fantastic. Could be here hours. Right, read that. I'll go on one. So here's the hierarchy of angels, is a belief of tradition found in the angelology of different religions, which holds that there are different levels of ranks of angels. Until the New Testament, there were only 2 orders of angels, and St. Paul extended the number by adding 7 new orders, bringing up the number to 9 orders. They are arranged according to their importance. So Severim, cherubim, thrones, dominations, virtues, powers, principalities, archangels, and angels. So today, number range from 7 to 12, being the most commonly used, but most contain the same ranks and differ only in the order presented. Unbelievable. So, and this is where it gets extremely tricky. Because if they cannot even work out the order of the angels and they're debating that, that's because they don't basically know. What do I know about angels? Now, I work with angels. I've known angels for a long time now. They've always been with me, as they've always been with everybody. I always see lower realm earth, lower vibration earth, lower realm next one, recovery. Then I see another realm above, and then I see another realm. So there's three, but there's several levels also that I see. Now that's only what I can see. But I can't say that I can see it all, because who am I to say that I can see everything? People will perceive things differently. We all have different perceptions, and it's about respecting those perceptions. That's important too. So your higher power comes from within you. Now that is what I believe. I personally believe in higher self, and I believe that we're all connected to one, and we go to our higher self. But what about the baddies? Where do you think they go? So what about those? I'm asking you. Stupid headphones. Purgatory. A merciful God would send his children to purgatory. They remain here on the lower realm. That's what I believe. I don't believe in purgatory. We're born to earth. That's what I think. That's what I've seen. That's my vision. Because they would be recovered. We forgive and try to bring them to the light. Is heaven and hell on earth? Is heaven and hell on earth? Yes. Yes. I remember my stepmother saying that to me. My dad said to me, Rachel, we're living in hell. And I looked at him, and my mum, my stepmother, she had cancer. And she always used to say I was really wise, even as a young girl. And I looked at him and I went, Dad, earth is what you make it, heaven or hell. So it can be heaven. It's what you want it to be. And I agree with that concept. I agree that what we make in our life is essentially live in hell or live in heaven. But for some people, like if we look at countries with poverty, people dying in war zones, illnesses, diseases, it is just full of rife. And it's so disheartening to watch all the things that are happening and the suffering in this world without God. And then people will say, that's God's fault. Why? Where is Jesus? Where's he gone? Why isn't the second coming happen? Why isn't this happening? Where are they? Where's God? This is God's fault. Where is he? So I believe he sent the angels. Now I know, and this is going to sound pretty silly, I know from being a spiritualist how busy my admin is. Day, night, all day and night. I get, Rachel, can I speak to so-and-so? Can I speak to so-and-so? Oh, have you got so-and-so? And because I'm a spiritualist, don't get me wrong, I'm not making out anything here. You know, I don't think I'm anybody. I work for Divine Source, but I'm one person working for Divine Source. There's thousands of people working for Divine Source. Could you imagine God's duty at the end of the day? How can he help all of those people? So I believe he sends Divine Source. He connects people to Divine Source. That's my feeling. So you get nurses, scientists, doctors, lifeguards, spiritualists, counselors, all the lovely people in the world, to me, are angels. They're earth angels, and they're doing their work and they're serving Divine Source. But it's not man's focus. I like that, Dave, because I believe I'm an angel. We're a really good-hearted person. There. Yes, indeed. I believe that too, Rachel, exactly. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to believe in me. I want you to question your own thoughts. For me, it's my belief, but we've all got our own individual beliefs. But for me, I just think, God, how could he do that? How could he help so many people? So we're going to go and go, God, it's your fault. Oh, no, it's his fault. It's always somebody else's fault. But actually, if we gathered in our collective higher selves as our perfect higher beings, we'll never be perfect, not while we're on this plane, but to reach to our higher selves and try to help one another consciously. So I think God is the state of mind, and I think God is our higher consciousness. I don't know if he's man. I've never seen him, but I can feel him. And I feel a light, and I feel angels, and that's what I know. Why did we question it? And someone said to me, but Rachel, like, because my dad would say, I used to always say, oh, I believe in God, I believe in angels. And he said, but why? How can you say that? You haven't seen it. And this is my own father. And I said, but the best things in life are the simple things. Do we have to actually question everything, believe everything that science has written, or is it as simple, as plain as that? Is it just simple and we're just missing it? Because I think we are. I think that for angels, spirituality, all of it, we're missing it. We're missing the tiny little, most important fraction of life, and that is energy and matter, and that we're all connected and one. So someone said, I also believe that we're here until we get right past life regression. I have seen Jesus when I was really ill and suffering. I've seen Jesus. He's an ascending master. I've seen Jesus lots. I've felt Jesus. I've seen bright white lights, all sorts of things. Put everything into God's hands. But then, okay then. Right, now this is really going to really throw you now. Okay. So what about spiritualists and mediums then, talking to the dead? Because according to the scriptures, I'm evil. Just one to think about. Is it evil to talk to the dead? That's because man wrote it. Now, that makes me laugh. That bit alone makes me laugh, because Jesus was a man. He passed, and then he came back to life. So they talked to him. They talked to somebody who passed. He was man. Yes, he was God's son. You could argue that, but okay. But wasn't that why? Isn't that because there was evidence of life after death? What is dead? If we look at our physical bodies, this is the lowest form, lowest frequency, lowest vibration. So are we a physical form? No, we're seen as a physical form because we are a lower energy. We are energy. I did not expect to go into one. So my husband keeps telling me that if I were dead myself, he want me to connect with him. You are only able to talk to the dead if your intent with it's negative, I suppose. But if your intent is positive, they're not evil, giving and caring and sharing that gift. Death is the biggest lie ever told. That is what I think. Because we're forever living. We're forever living. We're forever souls. This is physical form. So if we look at energy, if you just think about that for a minute, energy, frequency. If we're on the lowest frequency, are we really a physical form? Are we? If you look it up and look into Tesla, energy and matter and vibrations, you'll realize that really this is just merely almost a shell, and we're seen solid because of the lower vibration. So who said that King Solomon also used to do fortune telling? Yeah. It's an amazing subject, uh, full of debates, wonder, mystery, and always will be. But for me, angels exist. So here we're going to look at here, seraphim. They're the highest order of choir of angels. They are the angels who are attendants of guardians that are on God's throne. They praise God, calling holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The only Bible reference is Ange. One of them touched Ange's lips with a live coal from the altar, cleansing him from sin. The second have 6 wings. 2 cover their faces, 2 cover their feet, and 2 also for flying. And they say that's for protection, to protect God. Most definitely, how come people in Bibles foot to angels, etc., and dead people? Like you said, man uses what purpose is them best. I think so too. But this is Sephirim. And the reason why I want you to know this is because we're looking at theology, we're looking at the past, and we're going to be looking up to us working with angels because they're beautiful beings. Cherubim is a rank after the seraphim and are the second highest in the 9 hierarchies of the choirs of angels. So if you look at the excuse me, the choir of angels, there's 3 and they're called triad. Triad, 1, 2, 3, and there's 3 choirs in the bottom, 3 choirs in the second level, and then 3 in the top. So there's 3 sets. And the Old Testament does not reveal any evidence that the Jews considered them as intercessors or helpers of God. They are closely linked in God's glory. They are man-like in appearance, double-winged, and are guardians of God's glory. And they symbolize then God's power and mobility. In the New Testament, they are alluded to as celestial attendants. In the Apocalypse, Catholic tradition describes them as angels who have innate knowledge of God and continually praise him. So he who would judge will be judged. So why would they judge what we do? I've always thought that too. That is so wise. I've always thought that too. I've had that thought where I've thought, like, you know, so they're judging. So like, and this is where I will get confused about Satan. This is where I get confused. Okay. So please help me out because this is where, because I don't put nothing in certainty. I've got an open mind and I'm open to everything. I don't like to shut down the shutters and say, I'm right, everybody's wrong. I like to keep an open mind about everything, especially when it comes to this subject. Now, why would God throw his angel out and not forgive him if he's merciful? I don't get that either. But I'm open to your thoughts on that. So much we humans don't understand. That's the thing. There's so much that we do. We're an extremely high intelligent being and we do know so much. We're taught not to know. That's why you think we don't know. It's because we're told these things. These have been dictated to us for so many years. So was he a non-believer in his grand divine? I'm just confused. I'll always be confused at that because I think light and dark walk hand in hand. Now, if you were to have something really bad happen to you, and I know a lot of you have, just like myself, it's like you've got to get over that. You've got to forgive. You've got to move on. You've got to like show balance and have light and give light to darkness. So where's the balance if it's so evil? Isn't that serving its purpose as well? So yes, and Adam and Eve, my uncle was told me to not believe in hell, but I didn't ask him much about it because he was walking out the door, and when he told me that so amusing, we'd go to heaven. I think yin and yang comes into it. My uncle once told me Jews do not believe in hell. It's all questionable. Yes, see, that's what I think. Susan, that's spot on. He wasn't cast out, but he was given duty of the negative that stays on earth after death. Now, that is what I think too. That is what I think too. I think it serves a purpose, and I do think it serves a purpose. You can't have good without bad. It wouldn't balance. We have to learn from it, and lessons learned. You move forward, you learn from those lessons, and then you grow to the light. Without the darkness, there wouldn't be light, would there? So I think it's really important as angel brackets, because that's what you'll be, is to always consider that there's a way to balance the darkness in whatever way you can. Never put yourself in a bad situation, never put yourself in dangerous situations, never be like, oh, save the world type of person. To those that you can't help, what I'm saying is it's always better to be able to send the light and be as good as you can whilst you're working with the angels. So, Rachel, does that mean light workers help him to bring those negative souls or energy to the positive side? Yes. So Sorcha hasn't got a thing. Okay. She would have been sent one. Is there any way someone can send it to them? Is there any way that anyone could send it to her? Because Dee's downstairs. The URL, yeah. Oh, it's Sorcha. Bless. I'm hoping they don't all come in now. I might tip the bandwagon. If they do, they do. They will be getting a certificate anyway. They're just enjoying my chat. So, thrones. Where were we? Oh, you put a name on it. Thank you. Thrones of the angels are pure humility, peace, submission. They reside in the area of the cosmos where material begins to take shape, and the lower choir of angels need the thrones to access God. So we'll talk about the seraphim, cherubim, and now the thrones. We'll get used to it. I mean, because this is all new using this system, we'll get used to it. Dominions. It's so funny earlier I was saying to Dee, because how do you pronounce that? I've got a degree for crying out loud, but I'm awful. Natural. And I was going he was going minions. Minions. I was like, oh, minions, cool, I get it. So dominions are angels of leadership. They regulate the duties of the angels, making known the commands of God. And then we have virtues. Virtues are known as spirits of motion, control the elements. They are sometimes referred to as the shining ones. They govern all nature and they have control over seasons, stars, moon, even the sun is subject to their command. Did you know any of that? I'm so sorry, Sorcha. I might recap in a minute anyway. Powers are warrior angels against evil, defending the cosmos and humans. They're known as potentates, and they fight against evil spirits who attempt to wreak chaos through human beings. The chief is said to be either Samuel or Camel, both angels of darkness. Did you know that? Did you know that about warrior angels against evil, defending the cosmos and humans? Okay, I get told I'm a warrior angel. Right, people that inbox me go, "Rachel, you're a warrior angel. That's quite interesting." I'm like, no, I don't think so. My children just got told off by D being noisy. No, I didn't know that either until I studied it. So someone said, I don't really believe we release human ways, but take our experience and emotions and feelings with us. What we've learned, I believe we take what is relevant to help us in our next life. Disagree with that. Only because possibly. I think there's a lot more to it. I think personally, I don't think it's about us as single people. I think it's about one, and all of that turns into one. That's what I feel. It's to do with it's greater than us. So I've heard of dark and light angels. They said before Enoch tablet was the language of angels, but they turned it around for Diamond and Christianity. We take it with us to help our loved ones. Interesting. See, I don't believe we take our feelings and emotions with us at all. I think we take our soul with us, and I think we're reprogrammed. And but I think it can drop a program. It's just when I'm talking to spirit, they seem to remember quite a bit. It's difficult. But hard. It's a hard one. And that's why it's such a great topic. Yeah, you don't believe we deal only love. But then, no, she's right to a degree, though, because like feelings and emotions, then how come spirit can speak with us? No, she's right. Because that would be impossible, because when I'm speaking to spirit, they talk and they remember and they've got feelings and they love and they miss. But they have to come down to our lower frequency. But then I believe that what happens is it cuts off at that point. When they go back up, it's then replenished. I agree, it's our soul tries to stay within the light. Yeah, and then it replenishes because it doesn't want to keep going back down to this vibration. I always find it a bit cruel when I've called someone's loved one and then I've done a one-to-one and they've gone home and they say hi and they've gone home and they think it's it. And then they call them again and then again and again and again. And it's like, once is enough. But that's my perspective. I don't call upon my family because I know they're there. But it is such an amazing subject. Don't they come to help loved ones and realize also love, forgiveness, etc.? What, the angels, sweetie, or spirits? That's what another medium said she'd like to is go into someone's house and tormented them constantly. Yeah, it's a bit like that person, I'm not saying her name, who's doing the thing with the dolls. Oh, it's driving me insane. To the point I'd like to just go knock on her door and grab the doll and get the doll off her. It's just so wrong. Just to know they're okay should be fine. That is being selfish for yourself. Oh, it's constant sometimes. To help us down here, move on. Yeah, it really can be like that. You do get your guides and your angels and your loved ones can help and stuff. But for some people, it's just an absolute torment. They constantly call on them and stuff like that. Sometimes you have to let souls rest. I think it's really important, that bit. I mean, in my job, I like to get closure for people and stuff like that. But sometimes I just do think, really, isn't it better if people just realise that their souls need to just sleep? And that's why I always say at the end of my shows that don't forget they're with you, not with me, because they are. Anyway, because it's energy and it's memory. I've how I see mediumship is decoding information. I decode. It's shown a memory. It's shown something. It's not that person. The person's not here anymore. They've gone. Their soul's gone. That it's just like it's almost like a fraction, a tiny little spark of little memory, like a little light. Have you seen BFG? Is it the film? Reminds me of that. Memory bottles, tiny little lamps, and the little soul that can still communicate through. That's horrible. That eked me out. So it's like being high or intoxicated when you're in that state of highness and happiness. You forget all about you. All may seem lovely, and when you come back down to earth, everything comes back like an analogy like that. Not talking about depressive people who get negative when they are in that type of state. Yeah, you get trapped in emotion here, and time it doesn't exist there. We're in a bubble, aren't we? Yeah, trapped in a bubble. Yeah, but there it's not like that. It's just full space. We're almost like in a little bubble. But I'm open to things because, like, I work with angels, I work with spirits. I know a lot about theology. I've done a lot of research, and I've been working in the spiritual world for a long time. But there's always questions. There's always me thinking, well, okay, to pinpoint it, to know exactly. The operating system is so technical, and there's so many different beings. There's seed beings too, star seed beings. Also, I don't know where that just fell off. Star seed beings, and also you get galactica angels too. So lots of people will talk about different multi-dimensions as well. So it does become extremely complicated. So I think we're going to like this class a lot. Yes, and me. I feel we travel in groups. Yes. But for me, how I see it is like I speak with spirit. I know this is the lower vibration, earth. I then go to the next vibration and I can see that's recovery. I then go to the next vibration and I can see there that they're teaching. I've seen that. Have you seen that? Anyone have seen it? They learn. You've got the children's sphere. Then I go to the next level and that is just, that's where the masters are. I can see ascending masters in that level, and I can see Jesus, Mother Teresa, that level. In meditation, I've gone up to this level, and then I don't see beyond that point. So I see it as 3 levels, but I see 7 steps too, and I always see 7 in everything. In our meditation walks, what have you seen? Because it exists, it's real. They really are there. The angels exist and they're real. And the spirits are there. When I go up to the levels, I don't see the spirits. I don't see human form. In meditation, I don't see humans. I've never seen humans in meditation, human form. Not ever, not once. They come down to me. When I'm doing my spiritual reading, I raise my vibration and we meet in the middle, and it's a memory, it's information more than anything. That's what it is, information. Almost like a catalogue of events, and that's it. When I'm meditating, I don't see my loved ones as such. What I do is I'm with the angels. I'm at these higher levels. I'm in the realm, and that's what I see. I've been able to do that for a long time. So when I'm speaking with spirits, it's souls, but they would have been human form, because you would get regular angels, archangels, and stuff like that. So how is the best way to raise your vibrations? That's an extremely good question. I always smile, even if I feel really peed. Sometimes in this job you can get a bit peed. I always smile, and I always think about angels. I live in a fairy tale land in my mind. Everything's fluffy and angelic and stuff like that. And I think it is about having that, finding that inner self, that innocence, and then you're naturally like on a high, like a child. This is also happened for us. We get better with our own abilities. Yes. Mary Poppins always brings me that higher, happy place. Evil is created from within, just like higher power is finding a balance within. It's in your heart, inner self, raise above it. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Exactly that. It's inside you. It's the angels. It's the content feeling of knowing that the angels exist without questioning a thing. There's no need to worry. How are you going to develop? How am I ever going to feel spirit? How am I ever going to be able to help somebody? Because the angels will assist. It's merely it's knowing without questioning them. No ego, no question. Yeah. No ego, no question, knowing. That is the best way. There is nothing tricky about it. It's because it's so simple. It's because it's so simple that it's so difficult, because people will complicate matters. So they'll go, oh, I'm a skeptic. Oh, science, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Rachel Gibson, you're a fraud. You can't speak to spirits, blah, blah, blah. You hear it all the time. Why? Because I'm using a natural gift. Natural, just like water. It's energy. It's natural to speak with the wind. And Rachel said we might get bored. I'm loving this. I did say that, didn't I? It just is. Yeah, it just is. It is as it is. And that's how I see God and Jesus, or it is as it is. It's nothing, there's no question of it. If we question development, if we question ourselves, we are doubting. Now, doubt and fear is an illusion. Yes, okay, Lucifer might have dropped down here from the skies, forbidden from heaven and stuff like that. But wasn't he a test? Isn't he the test? Isn't he the test that these spiritualists out there using dolls and stuff? He is the test. He is testing every single thing in order for us to be our true inner self. So he has a purpose too. Do I have a spirit of a person around me now? I've always got spirit around me. Always. I never not. Not ever not. I'm surrounded by spirits. We all are, constantly. Where do you think they all go? It's all energy. Everybody has spirits. I'm hearing the microphone and the way you're holding your head. I don't entertain them. What happens is I'm open when I'm open, I'm shut when I'm shut. But I'm constantly surrounded by spirits. They are who they are. They're everywhere. I heard a whistle. It was D that did the whistle. But yeah, like for me now, I'm off. I'm off duty. So they will try and come in and stuff like that. And they will try and entertain me. I'm not interested. Block. That's what you're supposed to do. Archangels. I bet I was through this. I'm terrible, aren't I? I told you I'd be boring. Cut the cords. Absolutely, cut the cords. Here we go. Archangel is generally taken to mean chief of leading angel. They are the most frequently mentioned throughout the Bible, and we'll talk about what Archangel Michael, protection. The archangels have a unique role as God's messengers to the people at critical times in history and salvation. And then we've got Gabriel, Raphael. Gabriel, I tend to not use Gabriel in anything much apart from lots of people say to me, oh, Rachel, we're going to have a baby and stuff like that. The most important thing to do with that is send them to Archangel Gabriel. She is the one that would deal with that. Then we have Raphael for healing. St. Michael, he has been involved as patron, protected by the church from the time of the Apostles and the Eastern Rite, and many others place him over the angels, prince of the seraphim. He is described as the chief of princes, the leader of the forces of heaven in their triumph over Satan and his followers. And the angel Gabriel first appeared in the Old Testament in the prophecies of Daniel, and he announced the prophecy of 70 weeks. He appeared to Zachariah to announce the birth of St. John the Baptist. It was also Gabriel which proclaimed the Annunciation of Mary. No, I didn't say that right. To be the mother of our Lord and Saviour. And the angel Raphael first appeared in the book of Tophet, and he announces, I am the angel Raphael, one of the 7 who stand beyond the throne of God. So in the New Testament, here we got principalities. In the New Testament, principality refers to one of the spiritual, metaphysical beings which are now quite hostile to God and human beings. Along with the principalities, the powers and cosmological powers, dominions, and thrones. The clarity of the New Testament witness helps see that these beings were created for Christ and for Him, given their hostility to God and humans due to sin. Christ's ultimate rule over them expressed the reign of Lord over all the cosmos. This is the Lordship of Christ. I mean, doesn't it? In technical terms, it always sounds too technical. In simple terms, what does that mean? I'm going to just shut this door because I've got background noise and it's annoying me. Family. Why would the angels created by Jesus be hostile to God the Creator? That is my question. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. I'm glad you're asking lots of questions. It doesn't make sense. But it's important, and that's just history. And what we will look at later is how we're coming to this new age, this new idea, the reality, the real existence of angels. Reads as if Christ is better than God according to church. That's how I read it. It's very, very intriguing. So here's angels. These angels are closest to the material world and human beings. They deliver the prayers of God and God answers and other messages to humans. Angels have the capacity to access any and all other angels at any time. They are most caring and social to assist those who ask them. So these are regular angels. So myself, I don't believe in sin. I believe in choices. perception. It depends. Someone will see something as a sin, that's their perception. Someone sees it as choice, that's their perception. I believe that is choice, free will. Perception, I believe that too. It's perception. Perception is a very funny thing. And the thing is with religion is that this has been taught down at you. This is what your parents have taught you. So your parents will tell you Muslim, your parents will tell you Judaism, your parents will tell you this and that. All of them are at the same time, in the same place as we are now. We are still debating this every day, all over the world, causing lots and lots of wars. But what is right for one might be right for one. It's self. That is your temple, really, is God is your higher consciousness. What about when your choice is taken away? But that's where they're debated, isn't it? Because as we go back, where I was saying right at the beginning of this lecture here, was that we have planned this, we've programmed it. The guides and stuff like that, and the angels would have assisted us in this. If we go back to the first lesson of mentoring, when we talk about angels and guides, how we came here, how this was our pathway. This is what we've decided. But then again, I will come in with a skeptic point of view, and I always do. I'd always throw something into that. Is like, do people in Africa want to starve? Was that their real choice? Did they really make that decision? I don't think so. I think there's a battle within us, within ourselves, to reach our higher consciousness. And it's up to us as individuals to reach that higher consciousness in order to make it better. Susan said, oh, you saw that too. That's exactly right, Susan. I've had to explain that to my stepson. Morals are more important than one particular faith or religion. But it depends, because whose moral is it? So what would be moralistic to one person might not be moralistic to somebody else. So belief systems can cause lots of difficulties in our lives, and once again, that falls down to perception. So as spiritualists, we have had to choose before we come here what our path is meant to be. Well, I'll tell you a little story. The higher self is already in the realm. That's how you reach your higher self, because you already have a higher consciousness. So we're already in the realm. Little soul comes down to earth into little body called shell. We live our little lives, and then we learn from our lessons, and then we travel back home. And then what happens is we do the same again, but we do make decisions with our guides prior to coming here. That is some people's philosophy. That's what some people think. I'm not here to say what's right, what's wrong. I've got my own idea. I've seen enough to know that our Creator is very forgiving, loving. Suicides, I do not believe they go to hell. I believe that there is a recovery with angels, and I believe that the angels are here to assist us in all that we do. I'm not here to dictate religion in any shape or form to anybody. I'm here really to teach angelology, but that is my feeling. I've seen a lot of things in life. Personally, gone through some extremely difficult times, nearly killed by somebody, nearly murdered by someone, seen a lot of things, done a lot of things, and it got me to where I am now. And through that was through angels. That was through belief. Just because you're living in a different country or a third world country, we've got so many problems in our own country and in our countries. It's the war within us. It's the war against us. It's the light force and the dark force, and it's how we learn to deal with pain and suffering, making it a better place for everybody, just by being nice and believing in those angels, I can tell you hand on heart that angels exist. Now, I don't believe in their order, what they've written here. I'm not going to argue their order. That is someone else's philosophy and idea. I respect their idea and philosophy. What I believe in is that they're good, they're light, and they're wonderful. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to know their names. I believe in Archangel Michael. Call him Archangel Michael. It might be called Philip, for all I know. I don't talk to them. I don't need to talk to them. They're there. They guide. It's as simple as that. I think the problem is with all of these ologies and religion and politics is we emphasize too much on trying to find the definitive answer when it's already there. So I don't need to know his name. I know Michael though, by a smell, a presence, a colour, blue. But he won't say, "Oh, hello, Rachel. Oh, hello, Rachel. How are you today?" It really doesn't work like that for me. It might do for other people. It doesn't work like that for me. I just feel them. I know they're there. I work with them. They're light. They're wonderful, and they're there to assist us. That's all I need to know. And I think the problem with religion is we've gone too far to want to know the ins and outs of everything, and yet miss that simple little bit that it just simply is. In the light, we are all one. When we come to earth, we are divided into countries, religions, and creed. And that's it. That's it. Yeah, we question too much. Just let it flow. What's your development flow when you let it flow? When you don't question it? I remember my little cousin died, and she was the age of 6. I'm sorry, I'm bringing my personal life into it because I'm trying to relate it. And she died at the age of 6, and we were in a church. And I remember my grandparents and everybody looking up and crying, and I was 14, and I said, "Oh man, why is everyone sad?" And they're like, "What do you mean, Rachel? It's a funeral," like really cross with me. And I was like, "I don't understand why you're sad." Because she's going to the angels, she's happy. And straight away they knew I was weird, of course. Like, oh God, Rachel's strange, odd child we have here. I was the black sheep, of course. But you just know. It's just knowing, believing. I've been through a lot of religions, and all these, the angels and divine source, to within higher self. And the light rules. One, I love that. So I'm going to end it there for now. We've got lots to do, and this first part would have been debatable. We're talking history. It would have been debatable because everybody's got different belief systems and stuff like that, and it's really good to thrash those out. One thing I don't want anyone to do is believe what I believe, because everybody has their own belief system, and I respect everybody's. All I do ask, though, is that you do seek the angels, because you will notice them when you do. Is there any questions? Or discussions? I mean, when I've opened this up as a course, I was like, oh my gosh, how's it going to go? I thought you might be a bit bored. Tomorrow, same time. No, it's not tomorrow the same time. It's 2 a week, so it will be not tomorrow, the following day. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock is etheric chakras. You can get back into the notes. You can have these notes. You will have it via email, the presentation and the video. Everybody can. I'll get Dee to send it all out, hopefully. You never know, he might get it right. I'm only joking. He works so hard. He's trying to help me out as well. I love this course. It is going to be the best one, I think, by a long shot. Something I love to repeat over time. because it is so interesting. I've got a degree in sociology and stuff like that as well, and a lot of sociological stuff will come into this subject too. So that would be really good. I had a wonderful lecturer. He'll be loving the fact that I'm going to be using some of his knowledge. Was probably he was quite eccentric guy to teach. So how do you reconcile other religions' similar beliefs with Christianity? Couldn't it be that it's all the same? I believe that all religion is the same. I don't believe that anything's any different. That's what I think. Yeah. It just goes on and on and on and on. But like I was saying, I think the problem with us as human beings, we've got in our inner self, and what we're doing is we're in a time warp. Oh, oh.